So they're using James Earl Jones' voice in Fortnite. He's saying very rude things. We're going to show some clips of that. But SAG-AFTRA now is having a fit, not because of the things that James Earl Jones is saying, but because they can't make any additional money off of sound-alikes, because now that the Vader voice is locked down, all those actors who are doing, aping James Earl Jones style for video games or whatever, they're not going to be getting any work and paying their dues to SAG-AFTRA.
Well, I think, too, it sounds like they want to be part of the negotiations and get paid to negotiate the voice for James Earl Jones, too, what it sounds.
Yeah, tough shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like the family did, and they're the ones that have the right to do it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this. They filed a complaint. This is SAG-AFTRA. This is the union that represents voice actors, and they're mad that James Earl Jones sold his voice. He did it. He sold his voice to this company, and then Disney licensed it or something, however it worked out. And so we could have Darth Vader forever, and it's him voicing him. Well, that's great. That's and his family's going to profit from that forever, hopefully. And that is what I thought SAG-AFTRA was all about, but because they apparently weren't involved in this deal, now they're having a fit because some of their members aren't going to be able to be Vader now. Because
I just think it's funny because it's like the ones who I think would be mad about it would be like James Earl Jones's family, because they have Vader saying some very inappropriate things.
Right.
But no, they're mad because they don't feel like they're going to have cuts. They're not going to get they're not going to get theirs.
So when we talked about the unions, and we talked about what their actual motivation is, and we said that it was purely financial these days. It's not like it used to be, where it was really about better working conditions. It's purely financial because, once celebrities get in their heads that like, oh yeah, we could just sell our voices, sell our likenesses, and that's it. Well, then that's going to eliminate the need for new actors. And if you eliminate the need for new actors, they're not paying dues to SAG-AFTRA.
Pretty much.
And they're pissed.
And they're not getting a cut of this anymore because they don't have to get to negotiate.
No.
The family does. So they're mad.
So, but I thought that's what you wanted. Oh, no, that's not actually what you wanted, for the families to be compensated fairly, for the actors to do what they wanted with their own voice. Now, you have to be involved in the process, too, because they want to they want paid every time somebody uses Darth Vader's voice. So let's talk about this, guys. This is Kneon. This is Clownfish TV. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
And check out news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com for more articles, more stuff that we don't cover here on the channel, and sign up for the newsletter in case we get lost on YouTube. So we did cover this before. I covered this the other day, the swearing, which I'll show you here in a couple minutes, but let's get into what's actually going on here. But basically, the long and short of it is that James Earl Jones passed away, I believe it was last year. Before he died, he sold his voice, or at least his Darth Vader voice, to a company so that Vader's voice could be used from now until the end of time. And theoretically, I guess his family profits from that every time his voice is licensed. And that is what SAG-AFTRA said they wanted. But now they're mad that they're not involved in the process, I guess.
So what'd they say?
Okay, so this is coming from where? The Verge. Okay. It said SAG-AFTRA wrote in a statement, it understands its members and members of states wish to use AI technology in any way they choose. However, SAG-AFTRA's statement continued, we must protect our right to bargain terms and conditions around uses of voice that replace the work of our members, including those who previously did the work of matching Darth Vader's iconic rhythm and tone in video games.
Bullshit.
They were aping James Earl Jones. That's James Earl Jones came up with the Vader voice. Right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's bullcrap. So what?
You don't own him.
You're just mad. We aren't getting a cut of this because now that his voice is sold, we don't get a cut of this, but we don't get a cut of the negotiation for, James Earl Jones's voice either being sold because it's the family. So they're just mad because they got cut out the entire way around. That's not to say that, Disney or other companies won't hire sound-alikes, but I'm confused here. I'm very confused from, things that happened like with Great Lyle and stuff like that. You weren't allowed to use a voice that sounded like that. or they're going to come down on you. And how dare you try to have sound-alikes copy them? They're mad about the sound-alikes, if I'm not mistaken, and get video games getting put out because they're on strike. And it's terrible. They found sound-alikes to replace them. But you're mad because you can't find a sound-alike to replace James Earl Jones so you get money. Yeah. And is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it gets worse. So here
the double standard is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all about them getting paid. It's all about them getting paid. So this person here is like, while the AI quote unquote revolution slowly replaces human workers with oftentimes inferior products, and despite some members' distaste for the practice, SAG-AFTRA has embraced the idea of using AI trained to replicate an actor's performance. That should be the actor's right to decide if they want to license their voice out or not, right?
Yes.
And I think, yeah, it's better. I mean, honestly, if I were an actor and I were getting older and I was like, okay, either I sell my voice and my voice for whatever characters I worked on, they use me forever and my family gets money, or, you know, I take the high ground and I won't do it so some other actor can get work later. What's going to happen is they're going to replace you anyway. They're not going to. So this is getting into the video game strike. Okay. They said it has established contracts and partnerships with several AI companies, with the idea being members can use this technology as long as they're involved with specific contract guaranteed protections. So the act of using an AI to replace Darth Vader's voice performers, both the late James Earl Jones and those brought in after his death to match his performance, isn't what SAG-AFTRA is objecting to. Rather, it's the fact that this was done without Epic Games sitting down with SAG-AFTRA first at the bargaining table to hash out the specifics.
That's what I said. That's what I said at the beginning. They're mad because they didn't get a say in a cut of them using the voice they had permission to use. That they were supposed to, not only are you supposed to like not let this happen because they have to have their people be hired, but you're also, if you are letting it happen, supposed to let them negotiate it, even though they have no say in it. They have no, the guy's passed away. This family aren't paying you dues. He already sold it. If they're licensing it, they do not have to go through them. And they're mad because they want to cut no matter what.
Yeah, and this should open up some people's eyes here, because if the union was really about your best interests, it shouldn't matter if it's your voice, your performance. You originated that performance. James Earl Jones is intrinsically tied to Darth Vader, and I'm sorry, there are people that have aped his performance in video games. They never sound exactly like James Earl Jones. Mm-mm. His voice is incredibly unique, and he has a right, his family has a right to profit off of that.
Yeah, especially since that's what he wanted and he assigned it. I'm just trying wrap my head around it. So even if you sell your voice and you do what they said they wanted you to do, and people can license it or they can hire your people, but they could license it without you, they're mad because they just realized that, oh shit, they can license it without us and we don't get a say in it. Why should they have to negotiate the use of his voice? There's no reason. He didn't assign them as a power of attorney to negotiate stuff. He signed his family, not them.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, that's the way it should be. I think if you have a very unique voice and you have a very unique performance, like I said, if Casey Kasem's family could have done it, or Casey Kasem could have done it back then, I think that, people could have bottled that, and then that's Shaggy from now until the end of time, right? Because his voice is so iconic. But they're pissed because they weren't involved. If they were the ones who negotiated this deal, they'd be all about like, look what we did for our members. But
people they get cut then.
Yeah, people are gonna look at this deal and they're gonna be like, wait, James Earl Jones sold his voice and they're using it in freaking Fortnite. That's about as big as it gets now in video games.
Wait, if you sell your voice, right? Are they gonna try to make you pay dues, even after you're dead, because people are still using your voice? Like, is that what I mean?
They'll probably be like,
this doesn't make any sense.
Epic Games, you send us the check, we'll skim off the top, and then we'll send whatever's left, or to the family or whoever. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what they're thinking, but they can't skim anything, because this is a huge deal. This is Darth fucking Vader, like literally. We'll get into that.
There's literally yes.
But like if James Earl Jones is doing this, I guarantee you, half of Hollywood's thinking about like, that's a pretty good exit strategy.
Well, that's what they're afraid of, because that means no one else is going to get hired, so they're going to be out of money.
But you think Harrison Ford will do the same thing? I can almost guarantee he'll do the same thing. Be like, you want Indiana Jones and Han Solo from now until the end of time? Yeah, I'll sell more of my voice. I'll sell my face. You can de-age me and use me in Indiana Jones movies in 50 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
As long as my great grandkids get paid.
But then they're gonna be like, "How dare you?" Because we need to make sure that we're at the bargaining table. Why the hell would you be at the bargaining table?
Why the fuck are you involved?
I know. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And again, it makes me so irritated, especially when they're mad because voice actors are being replaced because they originated the role and it's not fair to hire sound-alikes. As they're mad that that their sound-alikes can't get work, with James Earl Jones' voice being out there.
So we'll look at some of the comments here. We'll run that clip though. I just want to make sure that clip is buried in the video because there's a lot of F-bombs. I mean, we drop F-bombs.
I mean, come on, whatever. It's just See, I didn't say any. Did I say any? I don't think I said any. Just because I was saving up for that.
Okay. Fortnite signatory company Llama Productions chose to replace the work of human performers with AI technology, said SAG-AFTRA. Unfortunately, they're not doing anything to make a case for themselves. In the last couple of years, I was on the fence about unions, but after I saw this shit with the strikes and everything, and them holding their breath until they turn blue, I'm like, yeah, get fucked. Seriously. Unfortunately, they did so without providing any notice of their intent to do this and without bargaining with us over appropriate terms. The Verge has reached out to Epic Games for comment. AI and its use in video game voice and motion performance is the main stumbling block in the ongoing video game voice actor strike. Yeah, because this completely destroys their case. I mean, look, we've got Sony. Look, we can just create an AI voice for these characters, and they did that with the Horizon Forbidden West. Mm-hmm. They, Aloy. They were like, yeah, we can just replicate the voice, no problem. And Fortnite's like, yeah, we'll just buy James Earl Jones' voice, or the license it or whatever, no problem. Barely an inconvenience. We don't need you, SAG-AFTRA, and they're pissed because they're showing you who is in charge. They're like, no. They're also, holding their breath over, some of the different MiHoYo games, Genshin and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, we got to stand with, And they're like, fine, we'll just step over you and hire a non-union actor. Like the video game industry is showing you exactly how far you're going to get with this shit. They're like, we'll work with you if it makes sense. But if you're going to be bullies,
but they shouldn't even be at the table for, whatever. It's so stupid. What are the comments?
Here are the comments. This is on The Verge. It's weird to call SAG-AFTRA an organization. It's a union. One of the most successful and influential unions. And perhaps the highest profile example of successful collective bargaining in modern history. Regardless of which side. Yeah. And people are like, no, here's the definition. God, is that what the whole thing is? Is basically he's just arguing semantics. Even a family could be called an organization. A union is organized, a corporation is found. Oh my God. Okay. So whatever. Semantics. So here's the thing. People are using Darth Vader's voice to say some really naughty things.
Come on. We all knew that was going to happen. I mean, if you're able to control Darth Vader's voice, of course, you're going to make the character say bad things. Have you played Fortnite? Have you been with these squeakers? Of course, they're going to use it inappropriately. Everybody's going to use it inappropriately.
Yeah. So let's take a look at one of the clips here. This is the one that was making the rounds. This is how people realized you can make Darth Vader swear. I think they patched it since then, but yeah.
What freaking fucking food is that, Darth Vader? Tell me.
Freaking fucking
what? What is this?
It's TikTok. I thought it was funny. Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of things like people were having him say that the sequel sucked and all this other stuff.
Disney Star Wars was terrible. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is ridiculous. This is like massive overreach on the part of SAG-AFTRA, and it's like, look, you're not making a case for yourselves because, like I said, if somebody like James Earl Jones can sell his voice, his family can profit forever, and you guys don't have to be involved, then why are you even in the discussion?
Yeah.
We can't use ridiculous. We can't use sound-alikes anymore. Oh my God, guys.
Well, they just realize they're screwed either way. You know,
pretty
if
much.
we can't use sound legs, we're screwed. If we don't get to control, we want you to sign over your voice, but you have to keep paying us, and you have to let us negotiate everything. And it's like, oh crap, we can't get to do that either. So what are we here for? What are we going to make?
Well, that's exactly it, because your members are going to start looking at this, and they're going to be like, what are you here for? What are you doing for me exactly? Making things harder.
I mean, if you're alive, I guess it'd be a lot more useful. But I'm just saying, if you're already passed and you already signed it over, it's like you can't have it both ways.
Nope, that's it. And yeah, I think it's good on him. Like I said, his family, they agreed to it. There's an article out there where they said that that he wanted generations to enjoy Darth Vader.
Well, they are.
To get probably not exactly what he had in mind, but it's so we're gonna get actual a James Earl Jones Darth Vader forever, and you can get away with it with Darth Vader because his voice is robotic. So
whenever you buy like the masks and stuff, they're like the toys and that make it sound like the first thing you're gonna do is put it on and start saying stuff you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like when you're a kid, you might say titties or something, but adults are gonna be like, wow, beepity beep 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 beep.
So there we go. They're fucking pissed because they're not getting a cut. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.